One of the bigger stories in WWE in 2019 has been the rise of Kofi Kingston. I've been very vocal about Kofi Kingston in a way that some people understand and some people don't. My main gripe with this entire Kofi Kingston situation is, yes, he is a grizzled veteran. He's been there for 11 years. You know, he's always had the tools to be one of WWE's best. Had the tools to be a WWE champion. Was never given an opportunity to compete for the WWE championship. A relative mid-card guy, got placed in the New Day, found the best success of his life with Xavier Woods and Big E. Multiple-time tag team champions, longest reigning tag team champions of all time. Kofi Kingston has had one hell of a career for himself in the WWE. Mustafa Ali goes down, and Kofi Kingston slotted into that position. And all of a sudden now, everybody's on the Kofi Kingston bandwagon. My gripe with this is, where were you all for the last 11 years on the Kofi Kingston bandwagon? You were in the same boat that I was in. The New Day is stale. The New Day is boring. The New Day needs to go away. New Day, New Day, New Day. I'm tired of seeing the New Day on WWE television. Now, all of a sudden, Kofi Kingston is given an opportunity that wasn't originally his, and everybody's claiming that it's Kofi's time. It's Kofi Mania. You know, I see a lot of people drawing similarities to Daniel Bryan. Coincidentally, the man that he's chasing for the WWE Championship. I don't find any similarities with Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan whatsoever. You see, Kofi Kingston has had a career that many would love, die, dream to have in the WWE. Kofi Kingston's a Hall of Famer. When Daniel Bryan was going through his yes movement in 2014 on his way to winning the World Heavyweight Championship at Wrestlemania, Daniel Bryan, at that point, had been neglected time and time and time and time again. It's not the same situation with Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston was never neglected. Well, I mean, he might be neglected for the WWE Championship, but he's not a man on WWE television that has this aura of WWE management neglecting him. Every way you looked, he had championship gold around his waist. 5-time WWE Tag Team Champion with the New Day. That's not a man that I look at that I should feel sorry for on WWE television. Yeah, everybody's dream is to capture the WWE title. But you can't sit here and compare him to Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is one of a kind. Daniel Bryan, in that day and age, can you honestly pick anybody else in that time to be in Daniel Bryan's shoes and have it be as successful as it was leading into WrestleMania 30? The answer is no. The answer is no. But with Kofi Kingston, I find it very difficult to believe all these people that neglect Mustafa Ali. If Mustafa Ali was in that gauntlet match and lasted the hour like he was scripted to last, Mustafa Ali would be a made man. Mustafa Ali would be over with the crowd. There's no doubt in my mind. We would all be on the Mustafa Ali bandwagon just like we are on the Kofi Kingston bandwagon. You could have put anybody in that position. It didn't have to be Kofi Kingston. You could have put Rey Mysterio in that position. He would have been over like crazy with the live audience on that night. You could have put Andrade in that position. He would have been over like crazy with the live audience. You could have put Dolph Ziggler in that position. He would have been over with the live audience. You could have put Ty fucking Dillinger, who just got released from the WWE, and you could have booked him to be 60-minute Iron Man in that gauntlet match. He would have been just as over as Kofi Kingston. You can't say the same thing about Daniel Bryan and his run in 2014. There was no one outside of CM Punk that you could have put in that position that would have been over like Daniel Bryan. No one. So it's not the same. It's not the same. Kofi was just given an opportunity, and granted, Kofi's a great athlete. I have nothing against Kofi Kingston, even though the people who listen to me and watch me feel like I have some agenda against Kofi Kingston. I don't. I think Kofi's a great athlete. In fact, I'm happy that he got to show himself to everybody and what he could do with everything that's happened to him in the last 3 weeks. I'm glad. I'm glad. Because it shows you how WWE neglects their own talent. Everybody's held to some level of capacity in the WWE and never really given a full opportunity to break out and do what they can do. So I'm glad that it happened. So now we know of another man on the roster who is as great as we all expected him to be. It took 11 years, but now we know. WWE has this Kofi Mania thing going. And I said it once and I'm going to say it again. I think WWE failed to capitalize on everything with Kofi Kingston at the Elimination Chamber. Now, the fact that we're getting it Fastlane, I feel like WWE is really backtracking. It's kind of a way of them saying, yeah, well, we fucked up at the Elimination Chamber, so we're going to do it again with Kofi and Daniel Bryan. We'll get him close to the WWE title, but we're not going to do it. You see, if the WWE is truly in tune with their audience and their fans, Kofi would have won the title at the Chamber. We would have gotten everything that we wanted out of the situation. WWE had an easy fix going into Fastlane because it's a nothing pay-per-view. Kofi could have been booked to lose the title against Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan, the right man in this equation, could have went to Wrestlemania as the WWE champion. Everybody would have gotten what they wanted. We would have got Kofi as the champion. Daniel Bryan would have went into WrestleMania as the rightful champion, and everybody would have been happy at the end of the day. But they didn't do that. In typical WWE fashion, they did not listen to their audience, and they didn't capitalize on a genuine moment that would have left everybody happy. It would have been a history-making moment. Those feel-good moments are very few and far between. They're a rarity, and WWE just let this one slip through the cracks, and I hate that. I absolutely hate that. If it didn't happen at the Chamber, it's not happening at Fastlane, people. I don't want to burst your bubble. Listen, if it happens at Fastlane, it happens at Fastlane. Congratulations to Kofi Kingston. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And the biggest hindrance on Kofi winning the WWE Championship is Daniel Bryan. The man is too good at what he's doing right now. Are you the best at your job, at what you do, in the position that you carry in your company or with whom you work for? Really? I want to know. If you are the vice president of your company and you're working week in and week out and you're performing, that would be like me replacing you with somebody less qualified to do the job. Daniel Bryan is the best man for the position. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Kofi Kingston, but Kofi Kingston is not Daniel Bryan. Kofi Kingston is not the guy that I want going into WrestleMania with the WWE Championship. If WrestleMania is my biggest show of the year, I'm putting my best forward. Daniel Bryan's my best. He's the guy I go with as the WWE Champion. It's very simple, people. It's very simple. If you are the best at what you do, you are the champion of said company. I've said it time and time and time again, and that is nothing against Kofi Kingston. Now, there was a rumor going around that Kofi Kingston's WrestleMania match could involve a New Day breakup. Again, I don't agree with this whatsoever, because this is another one of those situations where WWE is just acting on a whim. They are booking and thinking illogically without a thought or a plan in place. Why would you break up the New Day? Now, if you're thinking about breaking up the New Day, you got to take into consideration one very important question. What if? What if? What if you break up the New Day? What does that mean for everybody in the New Day? Well, let's dive into this on Off the Script, in the open of Off the Script here for Sunday. If Kofi Kingston is turned on by the New Day, like Evolution turned on, I believe, Batista. And we had Seth Rollins turn on Ambrose and Reigns, right? We have a situation where you got Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods, Big E. Where do they go if they're broken away from each other? Kofi would probably, sit in the mid-card. Nothing really big would happen with Kofi Kingston. He would be right back to where he was before he joined the New Day. If Kofi Kingston doesn't win the WWE Championship now, he's never winning the WWE Championship. It's not going to be one of these situations that's going to be a year-long process of Kofi Kingston challenging and vying and dreaming of the WWE Championship. This is something that is happening in the now. They didn't act on the now. So when this moment now passes, there's not going to be another opportunity that's going to be as good as the first opportunity. Kofi Kingston is going to float around the mid-card, literally doing nothing. And if you turn Big E and Xavier Woods heel, what good is that going to do? They're going to be just as worse, if not worse, than Kofi Kingston. They're not going to really be catapulted into main event status. You're simply breaking them up for the sake of breaking them up because there's nothing left to do with them as a babyface. Meanwhile, if that's the case, I'd rather keep them together because all three of them together operate the best together. If you break them away, you're weakening each individual. And that is the God-honest truth. If you break Kofi, Xavier, and Big E away from one another, they are weakened. If you keep them together, I think they're operating at maximum strength. Plus, the merchandise that the New Day sell, probably got to be one of the highest grossing amounts in the company. Do you really want to give up on that? Who's going to buy heel New Day shirts? Are you going to come out and cheer the New Day? Are the New Day fans now going to come out and cheer the New Day? Or are they going to burn their pancake shirts? Or are they going to burn their boxes of cereal? I don't know how many other fucking acts in the WWE can sell fucking a sugary fucking garbage cereal at $9.99. And people willingly buy this shit. You want to give up on that? There goes your merchandising for the New Day. What about all the marketing and the PR that the New Day does? All the talk shows that they do, all the charity events that they do. They are three guys, the gaming things that they do, right? They're sent everywhere to be in the public eye. Are you going to send out heel, violent, nasty, vile New Day members to do these things? It's going to take away from their character. If you're going to make them heel, then they need to be heel. So who's going to be sent out to do all those other things that the New Day was originally doing? Plus, Xavier Woods has up, down, down. You're going to portray Xavier Woods to be this fuck, this bastard, turning on his best friend, someone who he looks at as a brother, someone who he supported all these years, claiming that this guy is the most talented guy in the WWE, only to turn his back on him. That could be a real negative to the up, down, down channel. You know how many people think this is real? They'll probably take all their frustrations out on the dislikes. It'll ruin the up, down, down channel. Up, down, down will be flooded with negative comments and down votes. People might not watch the up, down, down channel. There's a lot of variables that they have to take into consideration here if you're going to break up the New Day. I don't get it. To me, that's a dumb move to break up the New Day. For what? Kofi Kingston's 2-month-long run? That's going to end at Fastlane? What if they do go ahead with the New Day breakup? What if they do go ahead with it? What do you do? What is Kofi Kingston's big WrestleMania match if he's not going to challenge Daniel Bryan for the WWE title? Say you break up the New Day and take Kofi out of the equation. Big E and Xavier Woods are heels. Well, they could do Kofi Kingston being attacked by the New Day. Out comes Mustafa Ali, cleared from all injuries. Mustafa Ali could probably make the save. We could probably have Kofi Kingston and Mustafa Ali versus Big E and Xavier Woods at WrestleMania. That would be one way to go about it. The other rumor is Big E versus Kofi Kingston at WrestleMania. What do you do with Xavier Woods? Xavier Woods going to be a shadow player, a background player to Big E? Not really fair. So I like that tag team match if they do go ahead with this plan. But again, after that, where does it go? Where does it go? They're not the New Day anymore. They can't be categorized as the New Day. The New Day is Kofi, Big E, and Xavier. If Kofi's not part of the New Day, then they're not the New Day. I don't understand it. I don't really understand the logic with this. Yeah, it might be good for WrestleMania season, but what happens after WrestleMania? That's where WWE, it's got all this blank slate. There's no plan there. They're acting on a whim. They're acting on instinct. They failed already by giving Kofi the WWE Championship, which would have been perfect at the Elimination Chamber. Now they're thinking about turning him heel. He wasn't even supposed to be in this fucking position. We wouldn't even be talking about this shit right now if Mustafa Ali never got hurt. Kofi needs to remain in the New Day. They need to be a threesome because they work the best as a threesome. They are needed more now than they are individually. And who says they can't act as individuals in the New Day? I don't know why you just don't book the New Day like you booked the Undisputed Era. I don't understand that. You see Cole competing for the North American Championship. He's got eyes on the NXT title. Roderick Strong wants singles gold. O'Reilly and Fish are wanting the NXT tag team titles. You'll see Roderick Strong single from time to time. You'll see Kyle O'Reilly single from time to time. I don't understand why they can't operate as the New Day while operating as individuals. It's not that difficult of a process. WWE makes it difficult because they're a bunch of fucking idiots. They are needed now in the tag team division. Yes, the New Day are 5-time WWE Tag Team Champions. Yes, they've done literally everything that you could ask for as a tag team on Smackdown Live. What if they get moved to Raw? What if WWE merges the tag team divisions? New Day versus The Revival. New Day versus Undisputed Era when they get called up. New Day versus War Raiders. New Day versus AOP. New Day versus Gable and Rude. New Day versus Heavy Machinery. New Day versus DIY. There are more things and situations to do with the New Day as a group, as a trio, compared to if they are on their own. Because Kofi will go nowhere after this 2-month-long run. He'll float in the mid-card and he'll be missing, and we'll all be wanting Kofi back with the New Day. Big E and Xavier, there's more harm to be done by turning them heel and breaking them away from Kofi than there is Kofi being on his own. You got to think about the what-ifs. Now, Bryan Alvarez said on Wrestling Observer Live that he believes Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan's match at Fastlane is going to have a fuck finish. Big E will pull a Seth Rollins and take out Kofi Kingston, betraying him to start a WrestleMania program. Big E is going to turn on Kofi. I watched SmackDown Live. Kofi's talking about how he loves his brothers. He's getting another opportunity. These guys are just hanging out in the background, throwing pancakes. It is inevitable. Kofi versus Big E at WrestleMania. That is my prediction. End quote. Now, it was noted that WWE will continue on with their plan to pair Daniel Bryan with a returning superstar, which right now is heavily rumored to be Kevin Owens. So we really don't know what's going on right now. I said it once, I'm going to say it again. If WWE did not give Kofi Kingston, the title in 11 years, it's not happening now. If they didn't give him the WWE title at the Elimination Chamber, which would have been the absolute most perfect place to do it in the situation that he was in, it's not happening at Fastlane, and it's not happening after all of this is over with. It's done. Enjoy your Kofi push the way it is right now. This is the extent of it. And if Kofi wins the title, great. If he goes into WrestleMania with the title, great. I'll be happy for him. But I just don't see it happening. I just do not see it happening. Now, why did Kofi get the WWE title match at Fastlane? Well, Meltzer explained this on Wrestling Observer Live with Alvarez while he gave his prediction. Kofi Kingston's Elimination Chamber reaction was so strong that it obviously convinced Vince McMahon to change up the Fastlane main event for the WWE title. Only time will tell if the WWE fans will be loud enough about Kofi to sway this decision even more. They very well might do that. But I honestly feel it's too little too late. You had that reaction on Elimination Chamber Sunday. Now it's only going to be a situation that could result in the same reaction, but it's not going to have the same feel as it would have had at the Elimination Chamber. Meltzer says, and I quote, "I think that they have an opponent for Daniel Bryan, but that may change because of the whole Kofi Kingston situation." The basic gist of this was Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston was not scheduled to main event Fastlane because of the reaction on Sunday. Vince changed his mind and made Daniel versus Kofi Kingston the main event for Fastlane. How that relates to WrestleMania, I don't know. I do not know, he says. But that is the entire gist of the Kofi Kingston situation as we roll on into Fastlane. I have no problem with Kofi Kingston. I'm glad that we got to see him do what he does. I'm glad that he broke out and was given that opportunity to show everybody how good he really is, but it was never his opportunity to begin with. Yes, I commend him for taking that ball and running with it. I love when Vince McMahon is shut up from talents that are neglected and held down. This is what you missed for 11 years. Where the fuck were you? I've been telling you all along what I had, and this is my opportunity to do so. I love that. I love that. But it was never his opportunity to begin with. And this situation compared to Daniel Bryan back in 2014 is vastly different. Kofi Kingston was just there. He was chosen to be in that position. Meanwhile, you could have put anybody in that position and they would have been over after a 60-minute gauntlet Iron Man situation. You put anybody in the Daniel Bryan situation back in 2014, it's not going to result in the yes movement. It's not going to result in one of the greatest WrestleMania moments of all time. It's not going to result in how special that was. Daniel Bryan was a one-of-a-kind situation then and there. You cannot take anybody randomly and plug them into that situation. This situation with Kofi, you could have put anybody in there. You could have put me in there for 60 fucking minutes, and people would have been wanting me to win that fucking match. Come on. Not realistically, but you get my point. Come on now, people. I love Kofi Kingston. I think the New Day... how many times have I stated here the New Day are fantastic at what they do when the time calls for it and they're all business? There's nobody better. They are fantastic. I've sat here and I've praised Xavier Woods for the shit that he does. Big E, same thing. Kofi, now with what he's doing. I just don't see it. What is all the excitement about? It's great to get excited, but I think everybody watching me is a little bit smarter than that. It's not that I don't want to see Kofi Kingston as the WWE champion. I'm just being a realist. I have a realistic fucking vision of what's happening here. If I'm proven wrong, great. Great. But you gotta get off this fucking bullshit. It's not gonna happen. Not that I don't want it to happen, it's just unrealistic. Where were you guys 11 years ago? All this time Kofi was on the roster. Where were you? I never seen this bullshit for Kofi Kingston, for Kofi Kingston in 11 years. It's like all the people that, I've been a Braves fan since I was, I can't even fucking remember. I've been a Braves fan since I was like 6 years old, 5 years old. If I abandoned the fucking team, in the middle of their miserable run that they had before they actually got good again, what kind of fan would I be? What kind of fan would I be? Just as bad as the fans who used to cheer for Michael Jordan and the Bulls because it was the in thing to do. That's what you guys are. You're Chicago Bulls fans a la Michael Jordan era. You're going with the winner because it's the in thing to do. Come on, man. If you're a Kofi fan through and through and you've been a fan of this guy for his entire career, great. But most of you just fucking sicken me because this literally came out of nowhere and it's one of those trendy things that everybody's doing and cheering for, so you gotta be in the same position. Meanwhile, I get shit on because I bring logic and realism to the fucking table and nobody wants to hear that. Daniel Bryan is too good at what he does. He should be the WWE champion going into WrestleMania. Simple. Simple. It's not happening. And the New Day shouldn't break up either. Give him his moment in the sun and let him get within arm's reach of it. Simple. But when WrestleMania comes around, you need the best. Daniel Bryan is the best. Do not break up Kofi and the New Day. What do you do with them at WrestleMania as baby faces? I don't fucking know. I don't know. Figure it out then. WWE's in this position because it's their own doing. You got no plans, and you're riding the big wave, the hot hand right now, with absolutely no fucking plan whatsoever. It started out as no plan, and now you're still in a position where there's no plans in place. It's their own fault. They're taking this as a show-by-show basis. They don't even know what the fuck they're doing on Tuesday. Oh, I said all I could say, man. We're going to talk about everything regarding Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens possibly being at WrestleMania, WWE Championship match. How much input does Daniel Bryan have on WWE stories? And WWE hiring Bruce Prichard as Raw Creative starting tomorrow. All this plus so much more on Part 3, Episode 262 of Off the Script. Off this shitty fucking product by coming on here and speaking the fucking goddamn truth about this fucking film. And I can book a better show taking a fucking dump after eating my fucking Chipotle chorizo with extra cheese. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Have I ever? Of course not. WWE is great, man. Fuck you, Japan, and Kenny Omega, Okada. Delete! What is it, man? Can I suck your dick? What is it, man? Well, this is the #1 fucking podcast right here on YouTube.com. This is Off the Script. Well. Look at who we have over here. Our good buddy, friend of the podcast, James, the WWE Guy, is back at it again. He chimes in after my tweet on Roman Reigns was picked apart by every cretin in the internet community. I never once said that it was a situation where it was 100% work. It's all fake. WWE is using this to get him over. How sickening. I never said it in that way. Now, I said that it certainly looks and feels like WWE is setting up for something on Monday with Roman Reigns. The visual evidence is there that the man looks 100% better. His arms look bigger than ever. But James, the WWE Guy, needed to chime in. And he says, and I quote, "You pussy-ass bitch. You have done nothing but talk shit about Roman this whole time he's been out. You really do miss him, don't you, bitch? I hope you fucking get cancer since you don't think Roman's illness is legit. You low-life fucking bum." James, the WWE Guy, wishing I get cancer. Wow. What an original comeback. Unbelievable, man. This goes to show you the cretins that reside in the community. And that was actually not the worst of the insults I got this week. I actually got comments and insults that I should drink bleach and die, that I should be exiled from the wrestling community, that I should get hit by a bus, that I should have my whole family burn in a house fire. All this shit over a pro wrestling take. Unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable. And then I'm the problem with the community. I don't know, man. I got people wanting to fight me in Brooklyn. I got people threatening me Wrestlemania weekend. Come on out, bro. Come on out. Guarantee you none do anything to me, especially where I'm going to be. So, let's try it. Anyway, moving on from that, James, the WWE Guy, is the least of my concerns, but I do want to shout out one of the better people that I do know, work with, and have really a great relationship with, and it's my friend Jason from House of Glory. He is the man behind the production over at House of Glory. He is the wizard of House of Glory. Everything you see as far as looks go on House of Glory, he is the man in charge. And I only not call him a colleague at work, but I have the fortunate situation of calling him a friend. And I want to shout him out here on the podcast because he has something coming up. A really, really, really great project coming up on his YouTube channel. And he's going to have a podcast of his own. It's going to be Tech Talk. If you guys are big into tech and just anything like that, it's going to be a whole just tech lifestyle podcast. I'm going to be on it. We already discussed, when I'm going to be on. I'm going to be on there. We're going to be talking about a whole slew of things. He's going to have everybody from podcasters to people in lifestyle. He's going to have wrestling interviews on there. It's going to be a big deal. He's going to make it really stand out more so than anything else that I've seen on YouTube before. And I really, really, really want you guys to go over there and help him kickstart this thing, man. So I'm going to leave you his YouTube channel. If I can link it in the eye that you see in the top right corner, I'm going to link you his YouTube channel, and I'm going to leave you the link to his YouTube channel down in the description and in the comments below. I want you guys to go and subscribe to him because what is about to be unleashed on his YouTube channel, I think everyone is going to like it, man. The visuals, the sound, everything that you want a podcast and a YouTube channel to be, he is going to kick ass. Not only on the platform, but, man, wait till you see what we got coming up with House of Glory. And he is a big influence over what is happening in House of Glory. So I want you guys to go subscribe to my friend Jason. Please do so. If it's important to me on the podcast, I hope you guys find it in your hearts to find it as important to me as well, just like you guys, man. So thank you so very much for all your support. I got to shout out all you beasts, man, on the t-shirt sales from Bonfire, man. You guys are absolutely fucking killing it with the new shirt. JDs Elite exclusively on bonfire.com, man. We had so many sales this weekend, man. I got to go through all these just to show my gratitude and my thanks to each and every one of you, man. Got to shout out Ray, Harley, Scott, Sean, Derek, Samuel, Quentin, Luke, Joshua, Curtis, Anthony, Nas, Christopher, Donald, Derek, Jose, Matt, and I got to shout out Simon and Rod Neal as well. You guys are absolute beasts for ordering the new shirt, man. We are, I don't even know what we're at. I haven't even looked yet, but I know we're definitely close to 150, man. So if you guys want to be on board and be one of my elite, JD's Elite, now available on bonfire.com. Go and get yours today exclusively on Bonfire. Link will be down in the description below. So please make sure you guys go and check all of that stuff out. Follow me on social media, man. JD from NY206 on Twitter and Instagram. It's the same deal. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. And when you turn on the bell, make sure you guys notify yourself of all uploads right here on the channel. Follow me on Twitch, JD from New York on Twitch if you're into the video game thing. And if you guys want to support me on Patreon, you guys can certainly do so. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. You guys are absolutely killing it on Patreon as well, man. This is the most we've been on Patreon in a very, very long time. And I want to thank each and every one of you for supporting me on Patreon. You guys are absolutely beast. I want to thank Tensai Tommy for raising his pledge from $15 to $30. Kirk Larkin pledged $5. And Dylan, as of the 22nd, pledging $5, man. John Pena as well, raising his pledge from $2 to $5. Thank you all so very much for your recent support on the Patreon page, patreon.com/JD from NY206. If you guys missed any of my other videos, man, please go and check them out. I got gaming content. I got podcasts. You guys know the deal. The Chamber, Raw, Smackdown, NXT, Resident Evil 2. We got all the content you need this weekend, man. This content that I put out this week, I'm very proud of it. I really hit my stride. I hit the notes that I wanted to hit concerning everything with Kofi, with the call-ups from NXT, my testimonial to Vince McMahon, how I really thought about Vince McMahon and what he did, and just the damaging nature of how he did it. Velveteen Dream winning the NXT North American Championship. The Roman Reigns situation looking very suspicious, but I hope not. You know, it's not in bad taste that I mention that. I have to bring all variables to the table, man. It's not out of WWE's, realm to not do something this vile and evil. And I know it's probably not what we expect. It's probably not what we're fearing because of the sponsors and the fact that they work with Susan G. Komen and the fact that they, do Connor's Cure and all that stuff. I know. But it's not wrong of me to come up with variables about why I think it's wrong or why I think it's faked or why I think it's a little suspicious right during WrestleMania season. Certainly feels like exactly what we're fearing. I don't think anybody can deny that. This is a company that, wanted an incest angle with Vince and his own daughter. This is a company that's exploited Eddie Guerrero's death, Jim Neidhart's death. This is a company that exploited the Big Show's father's death. This is a company that faked the death of his own CEO. This is not out of the realm of possibility, folks. So give me a break. I didn't say anything outlandish about the situation. I'm getting death threats over it. Really. Give me a break. I didn't say anything that was so outlandish that I deserve the backlash that I got. None. All because I sit here and I am real with you? Apparently that's a problem to everybody. And I hope not. I hope the smarter ones really know that. To everybody else, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself, man. Thank you guys so much for all that. Got to shout out Harry's, man. Harrys.com/script for your free trial. I have yet to use Harry's this weekend. Again, it's one of those weekends, man, where you have to do things and you just put everything off because you're just so fucking tired. It's one of those lazy fucking weekends, right? I had breakfast, I had coffee. I'm like, after breakfast and coffee, I'll be a little bit better. And then I'm in the mood to not do anything. Then I'm like, take a shower. Maybe after the shower, I'll feel better. And I didn't. I didn't feel better. So I'm sitting here at fucking 8 o'clock, 8:30, recording the podcast for you guys at a late hour. I don't know how it's going to do view-wise, but whatever, as long as it's up. And one of those things I wanted to do today was Harry's. I had to shave. I feel like a bum. But I love Harry's because it offers a close, smooth, comfortable shave. Never once have I cut myself. And I think a lot of people who use Harry's feel the same way that I do. You love the closeness, the smoothness, and the comfortable glide of its 5-blade razor. I am one of 10 million people who have used Harry's. And I want you guys to be one of the 10 million with me as well. By claiming your free trial, go to harrys.com/script. Harry's and its founders actually were tired of paying for overpriced, overdesigned razors. Vibrating heads, flex balls, handles, all those gimmicks that they use to raise the prices. And these other people, these other companies, they've been doing it for decades. They fixed all that by combining a simple, clean design with quality, durable blades at a fair price. Harry's also bought a world-class blade factory in Germany that's been making quality blades for over 95 years. And they received over 20,000 5-star reviews on Trustpilot and Google alone. And Harry's is so confident in their blade that they are offering you a 100% quality guarantee. If you don't love your shave, let them know and they'll give you a full refund. Harry's replacement cartridges are just $2 each. That's half the price of a Gillette Fusion Pro Shield. Now, what you guys are going to get, a $13 value. You're going to get a razor handle in one color of your choice. Orange, navy blue, or the evergreen. I got all three, because why the hell not? A 5-blade razor with a lubricating strip and a trimmer blade. Rich lathering shave gel. It soothes, it hydrates, it smells fantastic, and I guarantee you when you put it on your face, it's gonna leave a nice tingling sensation, man. And you're gonna get a travel blade cover as well, all for free. $13 value for free. Listeners of Off the Script can redeem this trial set by going to harrys.com/script. Make sure you go to harrys.com/script, redeem your offer, and let them know that JD and Off the Script sent you, man. Thank you guys so very much for all your support right here on the podcast. Let's get into the news and rumors, man. I got a ton to go over with you guys before we get out of here and close the weekend out, before we head into another miserable Monday Night Raw. WWE plans for Daniel Bryan and the WWE title at WrestleMania. They could very well include Kevin Owens. Everyday man, family man, Kevin Owens. Fans have been trying to guess who Daniel Bryan's opponent will be at WrestleMania 35 for what feels like forever. Ever since the Royal Rumble, we've been guessing who's Bryan going to face at WrestleMania. Who's it going to be? Who does WWE got lined up? Is it going to be Kurt Angle? Is it going to be The Undertaker? Is it going to be John Cena? Is it going to be AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Andrade, Rey Mysterio? You name it, Batista. Everybody's been thrown in the pool of possible Daniel Bryan opponents. The WWE Champion is currently scheduled to take on Kofi Kingston at Fastlane for the WWE title. And many want to see that very same matchup go down at WrestleMania. However, recent reports have suggested that Kevin Owens may be sneaking in the back door to challenge the New Day, or the New Day. Kevin Owens may be sneaking in the back door to challenge the new Daniel Bryan on the grandest stage of them all. He's going to be sneaking in the back door, and he's going to be raiding your refrigerator, man. He's going to stand at the kitchen counter, and he's going to make himself a cheese sandwich on potato bread with spicy mustard. Sounds good for a late-night snack, doesn't it? I know, I do it. That kind of move would add some much-needed context to his recent promos, which fans have been trying to take some kind of meaning from. Now, however, we have an update, which has been provided by WrestleVotes on Twitter, at WrestleVotes. If you guys want to go follow them, they broke several stories in the past couple of months. WrestleVotes, who is known to have broken several stories throughout the course of the last few years and in the last couple of months leading into WrestleMania season. It's not exactly a secret that Kofi Mania is quickly becoming a thing, but you have to wonder how far WWE is willing to take it. He's certainly picking up a lot of momentum, but if he's going to take on Bryan at Mania, you would think he would have been taken out of the Fastlane match altogether. You could do the rematch after the match at Fastlane if you wanted, but that doesn't sound like WWE style. At the very least, we know what the direction is for Owens to take on Bryan at this point, as it's been rumored. And while some fans may be hesitant that such a feud will be successful, both men are certainly talented enough to make it work. Sounds like a rush job if you ask me. WWE really could have played up the fact that Kofi Kingston wins the WWE title at the Elimination Chamber. They really could have played up the fact that Bryan gets his rematch. Maybe some sort of fuck finish happens there. We get Mustafa Ali thrown into the mix. The best situation out of everything probably would have been a triple threat match with Daniel Bryan, Mustafa Ali, and Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship. That would have been the absolute best decision, I honestly think, out of everything. And now we're not getting anywhere close to that. Kofi is probably going to lose at Fastlane, and Daniel Bryan's going to move on to someone completely new. I don't know where Mustafa Ali sits at this point at WrestleMania. I don't know where Kofi Kingston would sit at WrestleMania if he loses his title opportunity against Daniel Bryan. I don't know. I don't really know. It's probably in WWE's best interest to play the hot hand going into WrestleMania because it would involve everybody. But if they take out Kofi, then you're probably going to have to leave out Mustafa Ali as a result of that. And Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens, no matter how great both of them are, it could be a great match. But I don't want to see a great match for the sake of having a great match. During WrestleMania season, I want to be invested in what the story is. And I don't know what the story would be with Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens. First of all, I don't want to see Kevin Owens play a babyface. Kevin Owens, to me, is a heel. I don't find any interest in Kevin Owens being a babyface challenging a heel Daniel Bryan. I honestly think there are better situations for Daniel Bryan to be in, except, outside this Kevin Owens situation. I honestly think this is a rush, last-minute decision. That's just my honest opinion. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about that. It will result in Kevin Owens being on Smackdown, which is better. I don't want him to be on Raw. I feel like he would get lost in the shuffle on Raw. I don't know what that means for Sami Zayn. Where does Sami Zayn go? Because Sami Zayn's been attached to Kevin Owens' hip everywhere they go. From NXT all the way to the main roster. Every which way. They've been like Siamese twins. The WWE has never broken them apart. I would love to see them come back and kind of reclaim the spot that they had and kind of enhance that. I think that's a great duo. And I honestly think that they could be a formidable tag team in the tag team division. And if they want to do the solo thing, they could very well do that as well. But Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan, yeah, it could work. I don't know what the story there would be. But I honestly feel that if WWE wants to drag this Kofi thing out till WrestleMania, they may very well be forced to do that. And adding Mustafa Ali to the mix would probably be, the best situation in all of it. If Mustafa Ali doesn't have anything to do with Kofi or Bryan, which storyline-wise, theoretically he does, because he got screwed. Kofi took his spot. he could slide right in there. If he doesn't slide in there, what does he do? If Kofi doesn't win the title at Fastlane and doesn't have anything to do with Bryan going to WrestleMania, what does he do? Nothing. You're going to put him in this situation ultimately to have him do nothing at WrestleMania of any importance. They got to be very, very careful with this entire situation. How do you maximize everybody going into WrestleMania versus, well, if we end this now and we move Bryan on to something else, there's going to be a lot of guys going into WrestleMania with literally nothing to do. Kevin Owens doesn't need to be at WrestleMania. Kevin Owens doesn't need to come back at WrestleMania. WWE doesn't need him at WrestleMania at all. Save him for the Monday Night Raw or Tuesday after WrestleMania. Start him in something fresh after we get through everything that we're getting on TV right now. You just can't have him come back and interject himself for the sake of interjecting himself. It's going to come off as forced. And it's going to show you that WWE really has no idea. It sucks. This is the WWE title, and you're literally booking the WWE title with 4 weeks left to go till WrestleMania. On a spur-of-the-moment feud between a returning Kevin Owens, who has nothing to do with Bryan, and the WWE title. I don't know. I just may be ranting for the sake of ranting. I don't know. Maybe I'm just built differently than everybody else. Maybe I think differently compared to everybody else. I don't think it's a good idea. I'd rather see Kofi and Mustafa in a triple threat match with Daniel Bryan. I think that would be fantastic. I honestly think that would be a show-stealing match at WrestleMania. We'll see what happens. And that would result in the New Day staying together, which I just talked about is the best option. So we'll see what happens with Daniel Bryan going into WrestleMania. How much input does Daniel Bryan actually have on storylines that he's in on SmackDown Live? Meltzer mentioned this on the Observer Radio, on the Observer Live, that Daniel Bryan lost to Kofi Kingston again on SmackDown Live. It turns out that it was likely Bryan's idea because he's looking for people to face, which is also why he apparently pulled for Mustafa Ali's push on SmackDown Live as well. Meltzer says this, and I quote, "That's probably Daniel Bryan's idea. I'm sure that he's got a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? He's got a lot of input on what's going on. I mean, Mustafa Ali is his guy, essentially. So, look at it this way. He's looking to make contenders for himself. I'll put it this way as well. He's right on the border. One more time, and I think it's going to be cliche. Now it's 3. Maybe it's 1 too many at this point." End quote. WWE didn't book Kofi Kingston to beat Daniel Bryan clean in a singles match this week on SmackDown Live. It was in a 6-man tag, so take that with what it is. It takes a bit of the heat off of the loss, being that it was a 6-man tag. Still, Bryan is putting guys over because he wants to face talented wrestlers. Now it seems like he has the backstage pull now in 2019 to get that done. And that is the sign of a great champion, the fact that he's willing to put people over. I love that situation. We'll see what happens during WrestleMania season. Daniel Bryan, for all you Kofi Kingston guys out there, who the fuck knows what Bryan is thinking on what day he's thinking it. He very well could want to lose the title to Kofi Kingston and give the title to Kofi Kingston at Fastlane or at WrestleMania. So for all you Kofi Mania fanatics out there, your best bet may be Daniel Bryan's mentality in the way that he's thinking. If he wants to drop the title to Kofi, he's going to lobby for Kofi or anyone like Kofi to have the WWE Championship. We'll see what happens. But I like the fact that Daniel Bryan, A, has input because I think he's got a great brain for the business, and B, he is completely unselfish. That's the type of guy you want in that position. Absolutely great for Daniel Bryan. WWE did something that I really didn't see coming. In fact, some people might have seen this coming after what Conrad pulled for StarCast 2. WWE has rehired Bruce Prichard in the WWE creative department. Now, I know I'm not the only one who thought this. The first thing that came to my mind is WWE hired Bruce Prichard because of Conrad Thompson being aligned with All Elite Wrestling. Because Conrad is running StarCast, Conrad and AEW got The Undertaker to do 3 hours at StarCast, Double or Nothing weekend. So as a fuck you to Conrad Thompson, WWE took Bruce Prichard. and put him on the Raw creative team. Now, this has negatives, and it certainly has positives. And I got to bring all the variables to the table here, and I have nothing written here. This is just shit that I thought of when I heard the news break yesterday with Bruce Prichard being hired by the WWE. My first thought was that. My second thought was, what happens to something to wrestle with Bruce and Conrad? Is the podcast over? Is it going to go away? Because I know from what I heard and from testimonials of other people who worked in creative, this is not an easy job. This is a 7 days a week, traveling with Vince type of job. And if that is going to be on Bruce Prichard's plate, how much time is he realistically going to have for something to wrestle with Conrad? And is WWE going to want Bruce Prichard to associate with Conrad, who now has association with All Elite Wrestling? I hope that the podcast remains untouched, but it could be in WWE's vested interest to just kind of kill that because they don't want their guy mingling with somebody over on the other side of the fence. And that would be sad. It's the biggest podcast in the game. You know, Conrad's the biggest name in wrestling podcasts right now. And to take that away, it's kind of sad because it was an enjoyable listen. And most of their shows that they do on Something to Wrestle With are longer than the normal edition of Monday Night Raw on a Monday. And I'm sure that takes a lot of prep to go into, to script out the format of that show, to go over everything that they want to talk about for the informative topics that they come up with on a weekly basis. It's not not everybody could do it. It's not an easy thing to do. This podcasting thing is not easy. Everybody thinks it's easy. Everybody's like, go get a real job. JD sits at home in his mother's basement and he's got Dorito fingers and he's a fat slob. He's a virgin. I hear it all. It's not easy. The haters, the critics, the cretins out there, they cannot do what I do at the level that I do it in the preparation that I do it in. You can't do it. Otherwise, you'd be able to do it. Otherwise, you'd be in the position that I'm in now. I do the same thing I do here for House of Glory. You don't know how prepared I am with stats and storylines and backlog for House of Glory. I take my job very fucking seriously, whether it's there doing commentary or here scripting out the format of this show, talking about things over a 5-hour block on Friday through Sunday, plus 3 hours of Raw I gotta watch on Monday, take notes on, sit here for an hour and come up with shit off the top of my head, 2 hours on Smackdown, another hour on Tuesday, another hour at NXT on Wednesday, talk about it for another hour on Wednesday, and that's not including the extras that I do, whether it's All Elite, or whether it's WWE News. If it was so easy, you'd do it. And you can't. And that bothers you. Simple. So with Conrad doing the AEW thing, and Bruce doing the WWE thing, where's there going to be time for something to wrestle with? Now, it could still be a thing on the WWE Network. I loved what they did on the WWE Network. But again, is WWE going to want Bruce and Conrad, who is AEW? We don't know what his role is in AEW. He could be an interviewer. He could be whatever over there. An analyst, color commentator. We don't know. Well, all we know is that he's on the Con payroll. Conrad ain't shelling out the money to put together StarCast. You think Conrad paid for The Undertaker? Give me a fucking break. Conrad had nothing to do with The Undertaker going to StarCast 2. Nothing. The Khan family is paying The Undertaker. I would not be surprised if The Undertaker's Double or Nothing weekend paycheck has Khan family written on it. Signed by Tony Khan. Come on, man. Conrad is nothing more than a marketing tool for All Elite Wrestling. So I don't know what this means for something to wrestle with. Now, being that podcast is up in the air, what does this mean for Bruce Prichard in the WWE? I don't know what it means. I'm trying to look at it from the glass half full type of mentality. Maybe, just maybe, Vince really knows and understands that change is needed. But is change needed as bad with the idea that they needed Bruce Prichard? Like, I don't understand what Bruce Prichard is going to do for Monday Night Raw creative. You got 30 fucking guys over there who I'm sure, out of one of them, I'm sure has better ideas on a normal Monday than what we're usually used to getting on Monday Night Raw. I'm sure. If Vince doesn't listen to a team of 30, he's going to listen to Bruce. The man oversees every creative aspect of WWE. If 30 guys can't get through to Vince McMahon, if people in Vince McMahon's circus can't get through Vince McMahon, if his own family can't get through to Vince McMahon, is Bruce Prichard really going to fucking matter in a creative position on Monday Night Raw? The answer is no. The answer is no. Then I look at it this way. Maybe Vince is sick of the Hollywood writers who don't know jack shit about the WWE. Maybe Vince wants someone in the position that's a little bit more skilled for the position. A little bit more of a historian. A little bit more of, a guy in Bruce Prichard who knows what will work and knows what won't work. Maybe Vince feels more comfort in knowing that Bruce and his opinion is a little bit more, I guess, valued compared to the Hollywood writer goon who's on the creative team. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe with all the years of experience that Bruce Prichard has, maybe he has the opportunity or the power to somewhat get through to Vince McMahon where others could not. Ever. Maybe. I don't know. I don't really know. I'm hoping, but I don't think this is going to result in anything. Because the one man who oversees everything is going to oversee everything at the end of the day. It's either going to be his way or his way. There's no other option. Now, if you're going to sign Bruce Prichard to a Raw contract for creative, you might as well go out there and bring back Ed Ferrara. You might as well go back and bring back Vince Russo. You might as well go and give Paul Heyman a job in creative and get rid of everybody else. Because it ain't working. It ain't working. You got 30 guys who don't do shit. And if they do shit, their shit is not being listened to. Wipe away the creative team. If you're going to go back to bringing back the old school, then you might as well continue to bring back guys who obviously vent with everybody else on social media about what they would do to change the fucking product. Change is needed. We all know it's needed. Vince knows it's needed. Time is ticking. Time is ticking, and WWE knows this. If they don't change the product from what it is now, by the time we get to October and they go to Fox Sports, Fox is going to drop them quicker than the Monday night ratings are fucking dropping every single week. Believe me. Believe me. So, Bruce Prichard coming back, yeah, it looks great on paper. His mind and the years of service that he has already with Vince McMahon is great on paper. But with the demented mind, the sick, psychotic mind that is Vince McMahon, and it's only getting worse by the fucking week, is Bruce Prichard going to get through to Vince McMahon and really, at the end of the day, going to be the savior of Monday Night Raw? The answer is no. The answer is no. So Bruce Prichard being rehired by WWE was discussed on Dave Meltzer's Wrestling Observer Live. Now, he says this, and I quote, "The Bruce Prichard thing is so interesting. Again, Bruce is really knowledgeable about his era of wrestling. You know, he really is. He's been around for a long time. Obviously, he knows how to talk to Vince McMahon. It really shows to me bringing Bruce back to the shows. Vince is now looking towards the future with the past. I'm not saying that Bruce is outdated. I'm saying that Vince is. You can obviously see, and it's not a secret, that Vince is frustrated about the attendance. He's not frustrated about the company. The company's doing phenomenal. It couldn't be doing any better. It's doing the best it has in the history of the company. But as far as connecting with the fans, interest from the fans, it's really in a terrible place right now. Because if you have to go back to 1993 to 1995, that period was so much worse than what we have right now. People will compare it to WCW, even though it's not. There's stuff that doesn't hit. But this isn't close to WCW, even though Raw is a chore, a real chore to get through every single week. So Vince is looking, and I think there's a thing with older people that you know, and it's a trap. Because when things aren't going good, you start thinking, we need to do it like we used to do when they were going good. There are lessons from that period. I think he's just Vince is looking for his ideas, has his own ideas, and even though you change with the times and get new ideas, he hasn't changed like Triple H has. End quote. It was noted that Triple H's NXT roster is something that he would have likely laughed at 10 years ago because it's a full roster of smaller guys from the indies. That is the same type of performer he used to reportedly love burying backstage. However, Vince McMahon is bringing back Bruce Prichard to regain a piece of what the company once was. I don't know how this is going to work out. I really don't know how it's going to work out. All you have to do is look from within. You don't need to go back out there and pull in a Bruce Prichard. Seriously. What needs to be done is Vince needs to take a step back. You need to scale back the priorities that Vince McMahon has a stranglehold over. If you want a vested interest from the fans, look at NXT. Look at TakeOver. Why are takeovers the best shows, not only in the United States, in the world when it comes to professional wrestling? It's because we as fans follow these characters through storylines that they've developed. They lead to these big matches, these epic matches at TakeOver, and it's a take on old school mentality. Triple H is doing what the old school used to do in the new school. It's all on storylines. It's all on character development. We don't see none of that on the main roster. The main roster has too much going on. There's just so much product for the fans to ingest and care about. The interest is not there. It is not there. If you look at what NXT is doing in the model of NXT and you apply that to the main roster, I guarantee you that people will be more invested in the main roster product. But the thing is, Vince has to take a step back. Bruce Prichard is not the answer. I honestly think that Bruce Prichard and getting Bruce Prichard was a fuck you to Conrad Thompson and a fuck you to The Undertaker for going to StarCast 2. You laugh at it, but this is obviously another chess move in the AEW effect. And if you don't think so, you're a fucking idiot. I don't know how this is going to work. We'll see. If there's no change on Monday night, I give it a month. I'm not going to gauge Bruce Prichard's first week and deem him a failure. But I'm going to give this a month. And if Raw has not changed, and I know Raw, if I have not felt or seen change on Monday Night Raw, then we all know that Bruce Prichard's inclusion on Monday night is really just another chess move in the battle with AEW. WWE with The Undertaker and this whole story with The Undertaker. Vince is pissed. He's not happy about The Undertaker doing StarCast 2. Now, if I'm Vince McMahon, I'm not happy about The Undertaker doing StarCast either. That's just the way a businessman operates. When you think of The Undertaker is the very definition of what the WWE is. When you think of the WWE, you think of Hulk Hogan. You think of John Cena, The Rock, the fucking Stone Cold shit, right? The Austin era, Stone Cold 316. You think of The Undertaker. The Undertaker is the very essence of what the WWE is. So, of course, Vince McMahon is not happy. Vince McMahon created The Undertaker. That is his greatest creation outside of WrestleMania. And the simple fact that The Undertaker is now doing Double or Nothing weekend. He's not going to be at Double or Nothing. He's going to be doing StarCast. But the reason why Vince McMahon's not happy is because we all know that. I mentioned this before. We all know that Conrad Thompson is not paying the fucking Undertaker. Tony Khan and the Khan family are paying The Undertaker to be there. Conrad Thompson can't afford to pay The Undertaker $60,000 for the discounted price of a 3-hour block on top of everything else that's going on there. You got to be out of your fucking mind. So, of course, Vince McMahon is unhappy with The Undertaker doing StarCast. But is The Undertaker within his given right to do whatever the fuck he wants? Absolutely. Absolutely. Here's one for you. Why doesn't WWE pay The Undertaker $70,000 not to do StarCast? That would end it all. Undertaker's got to make his money somehow. The Undertaker has accumulated a legacy in this company, not only in the company, but in the world of professional wrestling. So the reason why he is being paid $60,000 is because he's given his life and his body to us in the art that is professional wrestling. If you don't think he deserves to go out there and make money after giving his fucking life and his soul to Vince McMahon, you're an idiot. Now, it may be wrong as far as the loyalty and the business aspect of it goes and what Vince has done for The Undertaker, but the guy's got to make money somehow. The guy has to make a living somehow. If WWE didn't want The Undertaker to do StarCast, pay him $70,000 not to do it, throw on an extra $100,000, $150,000 to do something at WrestleMania on top of what you were originally going to pay him anyway, not to do StarCast. Situation over. The Undertaker wouldn't have to go out there and do StarCast. But I understand why Vince is not happy with The Undertaker doing it. But the guy has earned this right. If he don't want to wrestle anymore, who's Vince McMahon to say, you can't do this, you can't do that? He can do whatever the fuck he wants. How's he going to make his money? Is he with a Legends deal? As far as I'm concerned, The Undertaker's contract's up with the WWE. He's not going to go wrestle for AEW. He's not going to show up in another random promotion. Undertaker doesn't need to do that. Now his life is giving back. He's going to make money while doing it, but he's giving back to the fans. This is an event for the fans. StarCast is going to be a collection of WWE, old performers, people in the business, just giving back to the fans while getting paid to do so. There's nothing wrong with that. But Vince McMahon is clearly not happy about The Undertaker doing StarCast. Meltzer discussed that everyone in the WWE is burnt out at this point, which could explain the constant changes to Raw. To make matters worse and even more complicated, Vince McMahon is concerned about losing one of the biggest names that he's helped create. There is also this ongoing issue of booking a WrestleMania card. He says, and I quote, "It's not that The Undertaker isn't on the WrestleMania card yet, as far as I know, but everything changed. They don't want the perception. They're not happy about that thing, StarCast. And they want him. I know that they want him on the WrestleMania card, but I know there's talk of Undertaker on the card, but it's not like there's a match set up or anything." Well, if you don't, exactly what I mentioned. If you don't want him doing StarCast and you don't have these plans for him, he's going to go and do something else to make money. If you want The Undertaker to not do StarCast, you should have come up with a plan for The Undertaker to be at WrestleMania and to pay him so that he didn't have to do StarCast too. Now, there's likely not a match set up or anything at this point. It's one of those things where they're trying to put something together. Everything is in flux. I thought, The Undertaker's just signing autographs to StarCast. It's a way bigger deal to Vince. The whole idea, Undertaker special to Vince, and it didn't go down well with him at all. End quote. Of course, The Undertaker, I'm assuming The Undertaker would want to be at WrestleMania. WWE would love to have The Undertaker back from the WrestleMania. But what is there really for The Undertaker to do in the WWE? You can't blame The Undertaker for taking $60,000 to sign autographs for 3 hours. You can't. Vince could be mad all he wants. At the end of the day, this is his fault. There could have been ways to work around this. So I'm not, Vince could be unhappy. I understand why he's unhappy. But at the end of the day, Undertaker's going to do what he wants. Simple. There are ways around it. There are ways to get out of this situation, and Vince didn't do it. Vince didn't do it. Undertaker's given his fucking life to this business. The guy wants to go out and sign autographs for 3 fucking hours in Las Vegas. So be it. I understand the perception of The Undertaker, and he's WWE through and through, and here he is at an AEW-sponsored event, Las Vegas, Memorial Day weekend, at StarCast. I understand that. There were ways around it. They didn't do it, and here we are. Simple as that. The Undertaker might have changed his name to avoid WWE trademarks as well. To switch things up even more, it looks like The Undertaker is referring to himself as the Dead Man. Of course, this has been his nickname for years. The timing of this apparent name change is very interesting. Latin star Bad Bunny, who is well known in certain areas, is a huge WWE fan, needed some help promoting a show. Then he called Taker, who apparently is happy to help. However, Mark Calloway neglected to refer to himself as The Undertaker. This is very interesting because Vince McMahon is not happy about Taker's upcoming StarCast appearance, which we talked about. Therefore, we could very well be witnessing a separation between WWE and The Undertaker for the time being. On top of that, I have nothing else to add to that Undertaker situation. WWE is writing the final chapter of Kurt Angle's career. Good. Dave Meltzer commented on Wrestling Observer Live how WWE is currently discussing plans for Kurt Angle's retirement match, and WrestleMania could be the event where Angle writes the last chapter of his in-ring career. Previously reported by Brad Shepard, Angle is reaching the end of his road as a pro wrestler. WWE Hall of Famer could be wrapping up his career at WrestleMania, so it's been talked about. We don't have any more developments on this situation. There were names thrown out there like Rey Mysterio, John Cena, The Undertaker, Kurt Angle versus Daniel Bryan is another one. We don't know where it's going to go. For all I know, WWE is going to book fucking Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin at WrestleMania and have that be his last match. Would not be surprised by any means. But Kurt Angle's career is done. I'm glad it's going to be over. At WrestleMania is the perfect place for it. We just got to move on. We don't need to see Kurt Angle in a WWE ring anymore in 2019. Rumors that WWE, that Dean Ambrose leaving might be a work. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Not the way he's been booked. Now, we'll find out what happens with Roman Reigns coming back on Monday. We'll see how much of a work it really is. But I heard that they could be setting up Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley, Baron Corbin, and Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. We talked about that yesterday. I don't have any interest in that whatsoever. So, Barn Burners No Holds Barred podcast stated that they've been hearing that Ambrose WWE exit might all be a work. Now, I've heard, I quote, I've heard this past week that Dean Ambrose, they said that he's going to leave the WWE and all that. Now I heard that this all may be a work, says Joe of the Barn Burners No Holds Barred podcast. Brad Shepard reported that WWE is going to take one more swing at signing Dean Ambrose again. If Ambrose does actually re-sign with WWE, then they might not tell fans, only to have it be a big surprise later on. After all, the company already admitted that he is leaving. You never know what's going to happen in WWE sometimes, especially with All Elite Wrestling opening their doors and providing plenty of new possibilities in the pro wrestling landscape. One thing is for sure, WWE doesn't want to lose someone like Dean Ambrose. It's going to be a wait-and-see situation. We won't know for sure until Dean is officially a free agent. So right now, I guess with time on his contract, all is fair game. We don't know. But I doubt it's a work because it seems like Dean Ambrose's body language is, I don't give a shit. WWE really hasn't done anything with him on Monday Night Raw. A match with EC3 here, a loss to EC3, a win over EC3, comedy skits, shit with Nia Jax. It seems like they don't really know what to do with Dean Ambrose, and they're not really pushing him in any prominent role, so they're just probably just biding time until his contract is up. We don't know. We won't know until his contract is legitimately done and over with. So we'll see what happens. We might find out more when Roman Reigns comes to Monday Night Raw on Monday. Finally, guys, the WWE's original intention with Finn Balor as Universal Champion. Meltzer discussed this on Observer Live, and he discussed WWE's original plans for Balor prior to his ill-timed shoulder injury. There were plans to push Balor to the top of the card, even though it would have not been at the same level as Roman Reigns. This could have certainly put WWE in a much better position to pass the torch to Balor after Roman Reigns' medical hiatus. Now, this was all brought up when Roman Reigns was announced to come back. So they were talking about Balor and what the original plans were for him as Universal Champion. Meltzer says, and I quote, they were way, way behind him at the time, and it just never got back to that situation again. But absolutely, yes. They were planning on making him, he wasn't going to surpass Roman Reigns, but I think they wanted him to be close to that level or right behind Roman Reigns. End quote. SummerSlam 2016 was a great night for Balor. Won the title. Terrible news followed. Shoulder was checked out. He was out for 8 months. Balor couldn't even hold up the Universal title after winning it, which some fans thought was a smart decision at the time, seeing how the crowd booed the new red title. Now, you never know if Finn Balor will find his way back to the Universal title picture. Following his loss to Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, he is now IC champion after his match with Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush at the Elimination Chamber. Therefore, it looks like WWE might be making small steps, or at least they decided that Balor deserves a title reign after a 2-year dry spell on Monday Night Raw. I don't really know. I listen, we all know that they fucked up with Finn Balor. You know, the guy was in the middle of nothing for 2 years. And I honestly think that with the rise of AEW, they really haven't done anything yet, but they're pushing WWE shit in. That WWE knows that he's good friends with everybody over there, and he's a big-time WWE star. Keep him happy. They put the IC title on him. They're going to start pushing him with a little bit more respect, a little bit more priority. You know, everything, there's a reason for everything. The push for Finn Balor didn't come out of thin air. It didn't happen because, oh, look, we got Finn Balor. Let's magically push him. For 2 years, they didn't push this guy. And now, all of a sudden, you're pushing Finn Balor? You don't keep someone on the fucking, on the shelf for 2 years and then magically, when All Elite Wrestling is announced, your first pay-per-view of the year, you give him the match he's always wanted, make him look good, and then give him the IC title immediately following out of thin air. There's a reason for everything to happen, and that reason is the AEW effect. You're not going to convince me otherwise. They didn't wake up one morning and say, well, let's give Finn Balor the Intercontinental Championship. No. It's all done for a reason. I don't give a shit if he's the Universal Champion again. All I know is the Universal Championship needs to be on Raw and off Brock Lesnar. I don't give a fuck who has it. If Balor gets to that point, great. Great. This whole Lesnar situation fucked everybody, including Balor. Balor's going to have a big year. Not because WWE wants to push Balor, but because now they're forced to push Balor. We'll see what happens. But that was the original intention. So be it. He wanted to be, well, Meltzer said he was going to be right underneath Reigns. And this is WWE's fault. They had no one to replace Roman Reigns when he went out. You see what happens when you neglect somebody who could have been the guy? He was the guy when he came in, and then you didn't do anything with him. And then when shit happens like this, you're not thinking of it then, but when it happens and you got nothing to follow it up with, you're shit out of luck. They had no one to step in and replace Roman Reigns. Normally you got your main guy and you got someone underneath him to be a backup plan, a predecessor, right? You have a plan B and a plan C. WWE had a plan A, no plan B, no plan C, no plan D. Nothing. I laugh every time I think that Roman Reigns went out and they had no one else to back them up. Who's your top guy? Nobody. Nobody. Now they're in the position that they're in because it's their own fault. You refuse to push. You want to feed everybody to Roman Reigns. This whole fucking agenda. You fed everybody to Roman Reigns to get him over. What happened? Now you got nobody. And I don't feel sorry for them one bit. I'm getting out of here, guys. I am tired. My voice is sore and hoarse. Gotta charge myself up for Monday Night Raw. Because I know there'll be a lot of ranting going on Monday night. Anyway, I'm getting out of here. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. If you guys want my other merchandise, man. 17 designs on Barbershop Window. Use code BSHOP20 for 20% off every single order. Go and support the podcast on Barbershop Window, the official online shop of Off the Script. audibletrial.com/offthescript. If you guys want to support the podcast for literally doing nothing but listening to me, Audible Trial is offering you guys 30 days free of their service and one free audiobook of your choice. All you have to do is go through the sign-up process. Use our link, download the app on your iPhone or Android devices. You'll have 30 days of Audible, and as a thank you, they're going to give you one free audiobook of your choice. You got 200,000 choices to choose from. Literally thousands of sports books on there, man. A lot of them are wrestling related. If you guys want to follow up on that, audibletrial.com/offthescript. Best thing is, if you don't like the service, you guys can cancel within the 30 days and keep your audiobook for free, no matter what. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Harry's JDsElite.com/script for your free trial. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206 on Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. And the new shirt. You guys know the deal, man. JDs Elite on bonfire.com. Make sure you guys check out all my other videos that you might have missed this week. Go and subscribe to my friend Jason down below. Make sure to subscribe to his tech and lifestyle YouTube channel. It's going to be great. He's got his new podcast starting up this week, man. So make sure you guys go over there and show your support. It's going to be a good one. And I'll see you guys for Monday Night Raw, as always. Roman Reigns returning, Ric Flair's birthday party, more of the NXT call-ups, and so much more, man. Thank you guys so much. Hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you all on Monday Night Raw. I'll talk to you later.